The best to you from Kmart Radio. KMRT.
Where were you born?
Yeager, West Virginia.
And
Technically, I was born in Bluefield, West Virginia, but I'm from Yeager, West Virginia.
and what's it like there?
Very, very economically depressed. Most of everybody that's from there has moved away. The ones that stayed, it's either because they're older and they're just stuck in their ways, or they're on drugs. A lot of people die there from overdoses.
What's the population there?
Under 300.
And when did you move away from there?
2014. I was 18 years old.
And where did you move from there?
Columbia, South Carolina.
And how was it there? Was it
Hot.
very different from where you are originally from?
Very much so. It's a population of a couple million. Maybe not even a million, I don't know. It's a lot more than where I'm from.
And how long did you live in South Carolina for?
6 months.
And where did you go after that?
Here.
And how long did you
County,
stay
North
here
Carolina.
for?
I stayed here for about a year. Then I moved to Chicago. Then I moved to Michigan. And then I moved back here. And here we are.
And what's your favorite place you've been to out of all the places you've been in your life?
Michigan.
And how old are you?
23.
And this guy's 23 years old, and he's been to so many places in such a short life. So you really enjoy Michigan.
Yeah.
As you notice, he's got a Michigan cup and a Michigan hat. Why do you like Michigan?
The lakes.
Beautiful?
Yeah. Very much so.
It's your favorite place to be? Is that where you want to live?
Well, I could get a job anywhere going into mortuary science, but for the most part, yeah, but, life and circumstances have kept me from doing so.
And what's your passion?
Gardening.
Yeah, makes sense to me. And why do you like gardening?
Well, all the problems that surround life and the rat race, when you're gardening, it all just goes away. The only thing that matters is whether or not your plants are going to make it. Nothing else.
And what are you growing right now in your garden?
Peppers, tomatoes.
He wants to
Garlic.
make a homemade salad.
Yeah, garlic, cabbage, onions, I think that's it.
And growing a garden really helps because vegetables are very expensive in the stores.
Yeah. And when you grow something, you're cutting down carbon emissions due to the fact you're growing it. You just bring it from your garden to your house. They don't have to be transported thousands of miles. That helps.
What moments in your life helped you grow up? Like, what changed your life and made you realize that it's time to be an adult?
Leaving home at technically 15. I wasn't living on my own. I was living with my uncle that I told you about, and my grandma. But that was probably the point in my life where I became an adult and stepped into bigger shoes.
And why did you live with your uncle? What did you do for him?
Oh, he was about, when I first moved in with him, he was, I think, 72. His mother, who had been taking care of him, which was my great-grandmother, she was 93, and she got sick and had to go to the hospital and later died, as one does at such age. And while she was in the hospital, he fell and asked me to come spend the night with him, which I did. Afterwards, I just became his caretaker after that, full time. Then I moved in with him because there was no one else to do it, and my grandma had been having a lot of financial problems along with other things I won't go into. So it was really desperate that he stayed there and helped with the bills. And the only way he could stay there is if I were there taking care of him.
And you basically took care of him until he died, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were times I would go visit South Carolina because I was in a relationship with someone there, but for the most part, yeah, I'd just go back home and take care of him.
And what was it like when it came to the time where he was on his deathbed?
Oh, it was rough. We had a love-hate relationship, but it was mostly love, and he never really knew that. But once he became sicker and more feeble, we made peace, and we knew everything was alright, you know. We had a good relationship. We both knew that. It was just a bad situation for both of us, but we managed.
You survived.
Yeah, I did.
And do you think that helped you become an adult?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And what did you learn from all that?
Well, being a caretaker isn't an easy task. That was number one. Number two was, you know, you have to know in life that if a situation's rough, it's not permanent. Things are going to get better down the line. You know, it may have to get worse before it gets better, but things will get better down the line, and it really, the only person who can help is yourself. You have to know what leaps to make.
And what do you do for a living right now?
I'm a carpenter and a student.
And what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do for a living?
Well, growing up in an economically depressed area in poverty, like below the line poverty. You have poverty, and then you have how I was raised, which is below the line.
Basically, you were in such poverty you didn't feel the 2008 recession, right?
No. What recession? What recession? No. So I want to go into a field that's very secure, and the trades I've learned so far is basically working in the food industry, like retail, grocery stores, carpentry, and now I'm studying for my associate's degree in mortuary science. And obviously there's always going to be morticians, embalmers, and funeral directors around, so that's why I'm going. And to serve the community in which I live and people on the worst days. You're serving the families of people who are having the roughest time of their lives. So that's important to me, because I know what it's like to lose someone you love.